G'day Guam, I'm Regine Bisco Lee, and I'm running for senator to promote a safe, prosperous, and healthy community for our families. I'm excited to share my experience and accomplishments as a policy advisor, community advocate, and small business owner with you, and my ideas to enhance public safety, strengthen our economy, and promote a clean, healthy island. I humbly ask for your vote for strong families and a strong Guam.
Viva Regine!
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E Life in Motion. KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson Navigation, serving Guam and Micronesia for 20 years. Cars Plus, Dodge Challenger, the undisputed champion. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. Pacific Solar, and King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dededo. Always open, always local.
Students pound the pavement to save their superintendent. Details from a press conference from inside the controversial RMS. And we'll hear from a former Chuk governor on compact impact. Hafaday and good evening. A bill of particulars has now been submitted to the legal counsel of the superintendent, John Fernandez, over the termination of his contract by the Education Board. And while the governor continues to criticize and question actions of the board, a student-led protest indicates he isn't the only one. Ken Quintanilla has more.
We want John! I need John! You need John! We want John!
In John we trust. That's the message of a student-led protest held Thursday afternoon at the JFK Kmart intersection. 15-year-old John F. Kennedy High School sophomore Shayla Kichicho coordinated the event in hopes of bringing Superintendent John Fernandez back.
Today we are having a protest to save our Superintendent John Fernandez.
Kichicho was joined by dozens of students along with members of John Fernandez's family and even members of the GEB, including Maria Gutierrez and Peter Alexis Atta, 2 of 3 members who voted not to terminate Fernandez's contract. Kichicho says she doesn't understand the board's decision.
I just think that it should have been more explained to students because we think that he is such a great superintendent.
The protest follows the resignation of 2 board members. Governor Eddie Calvo wrote to his 3 appointees last week asking for their immediate resignations, saying he greatly regrets their appointments. Charlene Concepcion submitted a written resignation, whereas Ryan Torres verbally gave his resignation to the board chair. Ken Chargaloff, meanwhile, says he would like to see this process completed first. The resignations come just as a bill of particulars was submitted to John Fernandez's lawyers on Wednesday. GEB legal counsel Gary Gumatauto.
Does the board have a copy of the bill of particulars?
The board, I've circulated it to them, but because I don't trust the board, somebody's out of that board gave away that investigative report. And so the agreement by the board was we would just circulate the bill of particulars. They look up and they can come to my office and look at it anytime they want.
Gumatauto says while he cannot release the bill of particulars to the public, he believes it will eventually come out when the public hearing is scheduled. Governor Calvo, meanwhile, has criticized the board's decision, saying the Department of Education is not a political arena.
Do you feel there's a lot of politics being played here?
Oh, for sure.
How so?
Oh, I think everything in Guam is like that.
But in this particular case with John Fernandez, how could
I
it be?
think, well, think about it. Why would somebody a board member release that report? Why would they do that?
Gumatauto says while he has his suspicion, he cannot confirm who, if any, leaked the investigation report. A special GEB meeting was held this morning with more than an hour spent in executive session, part of which involved discussion on the bill of particulars. He adds while this is new for DOE, he hopes people will still have faith in the process.
I hope that people trust the system to work because it needs to work right, you know, and this is a new area for all of us. We've never done this before. We've lost a lot of superintendents, you know, and it's been done different ways. But and this one, of course, is unique because we've never had a public hearing like this set up. So I don't know what's going to happen.
As for students like Kichicho, she hopes DOE doesn't lose John Fernandez.
I hope that the board members see how much John Fernandez means to students as a whole and to bring him back.
As for what's next following the bill of particulars, a public hearing will now be set for sometime next month at one of the public high schools. As for the student-led protest, the coordinators plan another one for next Friday, October 21st from 4 to 6 p.m. at the ITC intersection. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Ken Quintaniza.
We should add, with the resignations of Charlene Concepcion and Ryan Torst, the governor's office tells KUAM that they've already selected replacements. GITA Special Assistant for Agency Support Mark Mendiola was selected as the parent representative, whereas Pica's Cafe's owner, Pica Farron, was selected as the business representative. Farron serves on the Chamorro Trust Commission and will be resigning if her confirmation moves through. Both were given nomination packets to complete before any formal submission is made to the Guam legislature. Along with the bill of particulars, the Guam Education Board met in executive session for over an hour to discuss the leave of Superintendent John Fernandez. When the board returned back to public session, a motion was made by member Ken Chargoloff.
Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion that in the spirit of the superintendent's contract, the superintendent will continue to receive his regular biweekly salary to include his employment benefits and no charge to his annual sick leave or any type of leave retroactive to October 5th until further action. Thank you.
I second the motion.
Chargoloff was one of 6 members who voted for the termination of Fernandez's contract. The motion was passed unanimously. Legal counsel Gary Gumatautel says the motion was made to ensure Fernandez gets paid on his contract and there's no negative impact to his leave. Meanwhile, the appointment of an interim superintendent was also on the agenda. However, through the legal counsel's advice, the board decided there was no need to address the issue. Fierce bias and prejudice, that's how members of the Redemptorist Mater Seminary Board of Directors would describe a recent report released by the Visitation Ad Hoc Committee on the RMS. That report recommended that the Jotnya Seminary be closed for the good of the Archdiocese of Vigania, unless they could clarify the seminary's purpose, seek formal accreditation to ensure the quality of its priest formation program, and ensure financial independence. A press conference was held today in the seminary's library. Crystal Paco reports.
The report on the seminary prepared by the Visitation Ad Hoc Committee shows a lack of knowledge on the seminary's reality. But most of all, what we feel very strongly is that there was a fierce bias and prejudice in the report. This report recommending the elimination of the RMS and the Theological Institute is highly damaging for our Archdiocese and for the spiritual and economic capability of forming priests, not only for Guam, but for all the Pacific.
Point by point, members of the RMS Board of Directors, led by Dr. Ricardo Eusebio, defended the RMS despite the September Visitation Ad Hoc Committee report. In a press conference held on Thursday, the board maintains that the RMS is a diocesan seminary backed by the Holy Father and by more than 100 cardinals, archbishops, and bishops, that the priests being formed are monitored by the Lateran University of Rome, the University of the Pope, and by the Congregation for Catholic Education in the Vatican, and that those priests serve in the local parishes and often where no other priest wants to go. While critics like members of the Lady Forward movement demand they be allowed to visit the seminary because it's what they paid for, as demonstrated on Wednesday, Dr. Eusebio clarifies the RMS is only receiving an average of 5 to 8% from mass collection baskets. Effective immediately, they'll be relying on divine providence to provide for their needs.
The seminary and the institute will feel honored from now on not to receive any support from the Archdiocese and to depend totally on God's providence.
Dr. Eusebio also used the press conference to debunk any rumors that Archbishop Anthony Apron or former RMS rector Father Pius Samet are hiding at the seminary.
No, it's not true. But if anyone in the press can find out where Archbishop Apron is, could you please tell me so that I'll know as well?
To watch today's press conference in its entirety, visit our Facebook page. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Crystal Paco.
Thanks, Crystal. Elsewhere, a candlelight vigil is being held at this hour at the site of what officials are calling the deadliest fire in Guam's history. 5 sisters were killed when their Jigo home caught fire last month. The fire was sourced to an unattended candle. Tonight's vigil will be followed by a public viewing tomorrow from 6 to 10 p.m. at Island Funeral Home in East Agana. The girls will be laid to rest Saturday at Vicente Limtiaco Cemetery in Nimitz Hill. The Guam Police Department is asking for assistance in locating 32-year-old Matthew San Augustine Manabusan of Dededo. He stands about 5'8" and is about 150 to 160 pounds. Manabusan is wanted in connection to a robbery and home invasion that occurred over the weekend. You are asked not to approach him. Contact the nearest police precinct or call Guam Crime Stoppers. The number is 477-4357. Stay tuned. We are back with more news after this.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming with KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
Have you gotten paid yet? That's the premium automatic insurance deduction plan from Calvo's Insurance. Paid simplifies your home and auto insurance. No down payment. No more long lines. And you can stretch your payments up to 12 months. Paid is convenient. It deducts from your payroll, your checking account, or your credit card. With Paid, you get up to 65% off your car insurance and enjoy lifestyle club discounts. Life can be easier when you get paid.
Call Calvo's Insurance today and save on your home and auto insurance.
IT&E is giving away a trip to Manila, plus other fabulous prizes during our Stay In and Win prepaid promotion. All you have to do is stay in IT&E's 4G LTE network. Keep topping up load, and you're eligible to win. 10 winners will receive a $10 load every Friday during the promotion. Stay in for 3 months, and you can win a 3-month Hulu gift card. Stay in for 6 months, and you're entered to win the grand prize, a trip for 2 to Manila. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details or visit ite.net. IT&E Motion Prepaid. Life in motion.
Go for the Coco! Register for the Guam Coco Road Races! The all-new Coco Road Race is bigger and better than ever! So join the Coco and start training today! We've added the 10K run up to the half marathon and Edgerton relay! Run in costume and win cash prizes! Enjoy the live entertainment at the post-race monster bash after the races! Register online now for the Guam Coco Road Races at GuamCocoRoadRace.com.
It's Choctober at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. Get a treat bag when you wear your costume to come play. Medium cheese pizzas are just $12, mummy dogs are $3.99, and cotton candy is $1.99. Sign up for the costume contest on the 29th. Enjoy Choctober at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam.
For 20 years, Matson has been an important part of our everyday lives. Bringing in the cars we drive, the food we eat, and the materials that helped build our homes. From caring for our land through the Adaki Itano program to generously supporting our local charity, Matson has contributed to the preservation and growth of our island. On behalf of those you've served throughout your 20 years on Guam, Sibda Smaasi Matson.
Hafaday, I'm Dr. Michael Cruz, and I'd like to talk to you about a candidate I believe in, Fernando Esteves. As a combat medic, Fernando is one of the only candidates who has real working experience and knowledge to try to help find solutions to our ongoing problems in healthcare. He has the heart of a soldier, a mind of a leader. Please vote for Fernando Barcinas Esteves.
I'm Fernando Esteves, and I approve this message.
Connect with KUAM News. Find us on your favorite social media platform. Follow us and stay in the know with Guam's news leader.
Hoffman, welcome back. 3 weeks before his 4th birthday, Noah Cruz was diagnosed with HLH, and a bone marrow transplant was his only chance to survive. Dr. Tom Shea organized a drive for Noah this weekend in hopes a match would be found. However, some sad news to report as Noah passed away this morning due to complications of his disease. His parents, Mike and Brittany, are asking that we keep them in our prayers and proceed with the drive this weekend in Noah's honor. The drive for Noah will be held at the Agani Shopping Center beginning Friday, October 14th from 1 to 4 p.m. and then on Saturday, October 15th and Sunday, October 16th from 10 a.m. to 4 in the afternoon. Those 18 to 44 years old are encouraged to register. The Combat Free Association will continue indefinitely, says a former Troop State Governor. And Cito Walter says despite an FSM Senate resolution to the contrary, the island states have too much at stake to ever gut ties with Washington. Nestor Lecanto reports.
Speaking before the Rotary Club of Guam, Dr. Walter, now an associate professor of public administration at UOG, said his confidence lies in the fact that Micronesia's size and location are too vital to U.S. strategic interests.
We are as huge as the continental United States. The United States do not want to repeat what happened during World War II. So we made a pledge that no third party will be in this area without U.S. consent. And we signed into it that in case of any conflict, United States interests will always prevail.
But that loyalty was questioned by an FSM Senate resolution in December calling for an end to the Compact of Free Association. But Walter dismisses it as unrealistic and argues that it won't win required U.S. federal approval or the consent of a majority of the FSM governments.
And with all due respect, if I say this, it is an unfortunate, misleading information because from my experience, I really don't think that it's possible.
Walter says rather than an end to the compact, he and others who have worked on the agreement over the last 30 years want to redefine the terms to provide greater FSM self-reliance, even though he believes that ties with Washington will continue into the foreseeable future.
The question is, can it ever be terminated? My first statement, it would never be terminated. And my concluding statement, it would never be terminated.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Hoffman, the education campaign on Guam's political status continues. The community college held a teach-in for students to learn about the 3 options: independence, statehood, and free association. Coordinator Desiree Ventura says they want to encourage young people to get involved in their island's future.
Everybody's talking about decolonization and political status, and unfortunately, many people misunderstand it. And so this is an opportunity for them to understand their options, learn why it's important, and see why understanding each of these different task forces helps them determine how they want their future to look.
Representatives of the task forces made 20-minute presentations followed by a question and answer session. The Commission on Decolonization scrapped a potential vote in November, but said it will continue with an education campaign. The next date for a plebiscite is not until November 2018, as by law it must be held during a regular general election. New developments in a federal case involving the denial of H-2B visas. The plaintiffs filed a motion for class certification and for a preliminary injunction. Over a dozen local companies have joined forces to sue federal officials over the denial of H-2B visas. The Department of Labor has noticed drastic drops in approvals of H-2B workers since last year, with a 99.7% denial rate. The plaintiffs want a federal judge to order the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services to immediately reopen and reverse its decisions and grant the plaintiffs and proposed class H-2 visa petitions. Up until 2015, the average approval rate of visa petition approvals for Guam was 95%. However, in the past year, it's dropped to 0.3%. The attorneys for the plaintiffs in the tax refund class action lawsuit in the meantime have filed a writ of execution asking the court to order GovGuam to pay up its fees and costs. In late September, the district court judge ordered that GovGuam pay over $466,000. The additional attorney's fees relate to the appeal filed by the government. According to court documents, the plaintiffs wrote the defendants asking to confirm by October 7th that GovGuam would pay up so they wouldn't have to file the writ. However, as of today, GovGuam hasn't confirmed whether it will make that payment. Guam has a new Miss World Guam, and she's a true beauty. Tamuning's own Phoebe Denight Palisock was crowned as the 2016 queen last night. Overcome with emotion and backed nonstop by the crowd's thunderous support in front of a packed house at the Sheraton Laguna Resort. Ayana Baker-Shedd was named first runner-up, with Shania Meskimen winning the second runner-up, and third runner-up being Audrey Dela Cruz. Congrats to all the beautiful contestants who raised money for their charities and represented the holiday spirit. In the meantime, here's some of your category winners. Miss Photogenic also went to Phoebe. Miss Congeniality went to Charles Sandlin. Best in Swimsuit was Ayana. Best in Evening Gown went to Phoebe. And Docomo Pacific's Better Together Award was given to Kiana Santos. And the Top Model Award went to Ayana Baker-Shedd. As for the People's Choice Award, that went to Rolane Garland. And the Madeline Zebradalio Beauty with a Purpose Award went to, again, Miss World Guam 2016, Phoebe Denight Palisock. Congratulations to all of the contestants. Stay tuned. Sports is coming up next.
There's a reason why you keep going. When it's your own hard work that brought you to this point. You do everything to protect what you've earned. Because every move that brings you closer to your goals leaves you no excuse but to keep moving forward. This is what makes you an alpha.
It's the kickoff to savings event at Cars Plus in Muncie, going on now through September. Save thousands on a brand new Hyundai. Experience the award-winning Hyundai lineup with the best warranty on Guam. 10 years or 100,000 miles. The 2017 Hyundai Elantra starting at just $16,995. That's right, a 2017. Or how about the Hyundai Accent starting at just $11,995? Unbeatable. SUV lovers, the Hyundai Tucson is starting at just $21,995. The perfect vehicle for those tailgate parties. Visit CarsPlusGuam.com for easy shopping and quick financing. Kick off the savings going on now at Cars Plus, driven by you.
Senator Brant McCready continues to address issues head-on that matter most to the people of Guam. Senator McCready has fought to reduce senatorial salaries since his first term in 2013. He fought to eliminate wasteful spending at the legislature by introducing a measure that would prohibit the use of government funds for travel. Senator McCready continues to invest in public safety by introducing legislation to hire 200 new police officers to protect and serve our community. Senator McCready fights for victims of violent crimes by introducing the Vulnerable Victims Act of 2014 and Three Strikes Law. In addition, he defends victims of sexual abuse with the Predator Prevention Act and the Chemical Castration for Sex Offenders Act of 2015. Senator Brant McCready works to protect your family and Guam's future.
Vote for your public safety senator, number 10 on the Republican ballot.
A well-put-together man is said to be sharp. At GMC, we get why people appreciate that kind of precision. After all, precision is the kind of sharp that slices through a crowd. This is the precision of professional grade. Step up to GMC and get $8,000 below MSRP on select Yukon Denali vehicles in stock. Visit AutoSpot GMC today.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? I'm Dave Delgado. Welcome to KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. On the show tonight, high school football, GBA basketball, along with some youth surfing for you. Check it out. It was a battle of undefeated teams late in the season as the Friars visited the Geckos before heading into the playoffs. FD's DeAndre Cruz would prove why he was selected this year's offensive MVP. For the Friars, it was their defense that would prevail in a game that saw costly turnovers. Both teams gave up possessions deep in their own territory, with neither side able to capitalize on the miscues. The Geckos fumble on the handoff and turn the ball over to FD. G-Dub's defense buckled down and kept the Friars out of the end zone. FD had a fumble of their own later in the drive, but returned the favor when their defense stacked the box and forced GW to give up possession. With 6 players picked on offense for this year's IFL first-team All-Island selection, it was time to go to work. Running back DeAndre Cruz takes the handoff here. 60 yards for the big gain to move the chains. Cruz gets his number called again, breaking a couple of tackles along his way to put his team into scoring position. DeAndre Cruz would eventually punch it in from a yard out for the game's only touchdown as the Friars went on to win 7-0. Defensively, the Friars also had 4 starters selected to the All-Island team. For a complete list, check out KUAM.com. Let's get right into some GBA basketball highlights from the Bombers and Justice game. Kyle Grimm with the rebound and putback, 7 on the night for Grimm. Bombers working off the screen back the other way. Raheem Trahan dribbling towards the free throw line, pulls up and hits the short jumper. Roki Charfris to John Chaco, back to Charfris, cutting to the basket for the easy 2 off glass. Jerry Clayton driving in the paint, kick out pass to Tony Moses, who drives and hit the baseline shot. 19 for Moses. Reggie Rechabong put up 16 for Team Justice. 2 coming off the steal and layup by Rechabong, getting to the rim. Bombers Christian Kakonda posting up on Kyle Grimm. Kakonda with 12 points. Basket's good. Justice working the ball around the perimeter. Rechabong to Derek Royster, driving baseline to get the shot to fall. He hit 13 points. Bombers get the W, 81-72. Raheem Trahan finished the game with 19 points. Reggie Rechabong led the way for Justice in the loss with 16. Scheduled games for tonight at the UOG Cowboy Fieldhouse. On the court as we speak. In the 6 o'clock game is the Tritons taking on Team Justice. In the later game at 8, it's Phoenix taking on the first place Bombers. Big shout out to local surfers Noah and Irie, who recently competed in the Hawaii Surf Association by Hawaiian Tourist Authority. Noah is ranked top 3 in the Menehune division. Irie had 2 consecutive semifinals in 2 events, SB girls 12 to 13 years old and SB 14 to 15 years old. All right, programming news for you. Catch some NFL on CBS tomorrow morning at 10:25 a.m. on KUAM TV 11. Thursday night football. Denver Broncos led by Trevor Siemian coming off a shoulder injury up against Phillip Rivers and the San Diego Chargers. Now the Broncos 4-1. Chargers 1-4 entering the game. Well, that's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
Q50 holding short runway 19 right. Q50, do you copy? 227, runway 19 right. Roger that. Q50, clear for takeoff? Clear for takeoff.
The 2016 Q50 from Infinity.
Why don't you train for the Coco's Kids race, bro? Shoo, not even fair, bro. I'll just win that. Boom.
Calling all parents. Sign your kiddos up for this costume run October 29th. Register now at GuamCocoRoadRace.com.
I would ask my parents because they would probably say yes. My family members.
Your parents.
Someone you know. You know them better than a stranger. If we ask a stranger, the stranger might take us away. Like when something breaks, you fix it? I don't know. I don't know. Army. Where you're all by yourself. When somebody's by themselves and nobody's with them.
Banking doesn't have to be confusing, even for us grown-ups. At Bank of Guam, we keep it simple. Come see us.
It's back and bigger than ever. The big deal is going on now at Triple J. Scratch and win with every vehicle purchase for instant cash up to $1,000, free tint, Kmart gift certificates, and more. Plus, save big with these deals like the Ford F-150 at only $165 per paycheck or the Mazda 3 at only $110 per paycheck. Triple J's biggest promotion of the year is going on now. Stop by today or visit us online at triplejguam.com and get pre-approved instantly. Trade-ins welcome. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Triple J, customers first.
Welcome back. Before we wrap up the news, here's our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. And happy birthday going out to Maria Rojas, celebrating her 22nd birthday. Love Auntie Did and Grandma Uggan. Happy birthday to Tariq Davin Benavides Cruz. Happy 17th birthday coming from your Benavides Caleb Cruz and Salas family. We love and miss you so very much. Also, happy birthday to Joseph Salas from your family. We love you and God bless you. And finally, happy birthday to Jesus Lorenzo Santos. You too can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Just head on over to our website. Stay tuned. Up next, D16 Tonight.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E Life in Motion.
Hafide and welcome everyone. This is D16 Tonight. I'm Jason Salas, proudly your host for this week's program. And joining us live in studio are three senatorial candidates. The Republican incumbent, Mr. Brent McCready, longtime colleague of mine here at KUAM. Brent, welcome back.
Thank you, Jason.
And welcome home. A Democrat incumbent, Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. Senator, always welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you.
And a incumbent Democrat, the veteran policymaker, Senator Tom Atta. Good to see you again, Senator. As always. Now, thank you for sharing your time and your wisdom with us, gentlemen. As always, we start the program with giving you a little bit of an introduction. Each of you will have about 30 seconds. But I'd just like to say, because, you know, I've been covering each of you for so many years, and I know you all have so much experience, you know, in the private sector. But Senator Atta, you've been in the military, and you served in the military for so many years. Senator Rodriguez, you did so much in the private sector, and Senator McCready, you did so much in the private sector, as well as on the football field and in the athletic scope. So I was going to say, give an introduction within the scope of leadership and how you feel about that.
Well, you know, I spent 26 years in the military. It's combined active and reserve duty. And I was an infantry officer. And when I first entered the Army, you always saw this icon of the leader in the front of the pack, you know, and he was saying, "Follow me." And I learned later in life that really you can just as effectively lead from behind the pack when you empower your group by giving them the training and the knowledge they need to be able to do their job. And then from behind, you give them the support that they need. And when somebody's lagging, then you get in front of them and lead them the right way, and then get behind them and let them do their work. So I think empowering your people really will really be the best way to lead them.
All right, thank you, Senator. And of course, once an infantryman, always an infantryman. Can we get an hoorah from you?
Hoorah!
All right, Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you very much, Jason, and to the people of Guam, thank you again for the opportunity to serve them in the 33rd Guam legislature. When we talk about leadership, for me, I get the inspiration from our people. I've been in the legislature now this is going to be my third term, ending my third term. And in speaking with the government workers, the private sector individuals, and in my capacity as chairman on health, speaking with our patients and families, I go through so much health challenges. I get my inspiration from them and get my work and what I want to do in thinking about their needs and being that being the leader that we need to be to ensure the policies we set and what we do in our community is very beneficial to our people.
All right, Senator, thank you very much. And Senator McCready, you've been a leader of men in various capacities through the course of your career. What would you say about leadership as you introduce yourself?
I think leadership is what you do to the people around you. I think a good leader makes the people around him better. A good leader compromises with common sense. A good leader knows how to get people together. A good leader is someone who can sit with two Democrats on the stage and make sure they get things done despite party. And I think a good leader is someone who acknowledges that you can't please everyone in this job, but you're going to have to make some tough decisions and you're going to have to stick to those decisions. You don't vacillate and you inspire others to do as well as you have done, if not better.
All right,
I think that's what makes a good leader.
All right, and coming right out of the gate with the sparks flying with the partisan jab, well done. Okay, well, everybody, we want to remind you that our show is 100% interactive. We are on Facebook Live right now. The good senators are taking your questions. And so remember, these are our cameras, this is our set, these are our guests, but these are your topics, and this is your show. You are in charge. So let's go ahead and take a first question. Senator Ada, we'll start with you. This one comes to us all the way on the internet from Linda Taitano, who says, gentlemen, how have each of you supported public safety?
Well, I think, when we think of public safety, we think of the police. But there's other aspects to public safety, and that is having well-lit communities. And so in that regard, I've certainly worked closely with the Guam Power Authority to make sure that they have the necessary resources to keep our neighborhoods well-lit and safe. So that's, certainly my contribution to that.
All right, Senator Rodriguez, you've done a lot of work in the healthcare space, and certainly that leads into public safety and well-being and everything. How do you frame your own experience, and how have you contributed to Guam in terms of public safety?
Well, great. Thank you for the question, Linda. Several years ago, we were working with the Guam Police Department, and I sad to admit that I just discovered that time that we really never had a dedicated funding source for our police department to buy new vehicles and for maintenance. A lot of times we relied on businesses to provide new police vehicles, compact impact money to purchase vehicles. And so from that, I've established the fund, the OVIS fund. And we've been now established for about a year or so. And now we have a dedicated fund that is locally funded from safety inspection fees, a portion of safety inspection fees that go to this fund and are now dedicated to purchasing police vehicles and using that fund to be able to maintain our police force.
All right, thank you, Senator. And Senator McCready, how do you feel about public safety?
Well, thank you, Linda, for the question. Just today, we christened 3 new police vehicles and I think 5 new Department of Correction vehicles. When you talk about public safety, I hope the community knows that Senator Bram McCready has been an advocate for public safety for his entire legislative term so far, 2 terms. Our latest bill, we promoted 140 police officers, some of them of which who haven't been promoted in 18 years. We also signed into law by the governor, hiring 200 new police officers to man our streets. I think the most important part of being a leader and a public safety person is you have to divide the credit. It's not all me who did it. It's a team effort with Democrats and Republicans and our governor and our chief of police and our Department of Corrections and all law enforcement, because we all want the same thing for our community, which is safety. And I think that's something that I have done, and that's something that I will continue to do.
All right, well done, gentlemen. So everybody, remember on the internet, go to Facebook Live, facebook.com/KUAM News. Let's get those comments and questions. Keep them coming, because this next question comes to us from a gentleman named Art Murphy, and he says, gentlemen, What are your thoughts on the education board that has made big headlines over the last few days? And he says, simply stated, why have an independent group when decisions made will always be sure to be an issue? So, you know, we went this way first. Let's do what we in the fantasy football world call a snake draft. So we'll start with Senator McCready and go back. So, Senator, your thoughts on the education board issue?
Education board, some of them are elected, some of them are appointed. It is the board that we turn to when we want decisions made. I hope that the education board does give fair and honest and transparent decisions when they're making decisions. And I hope that the community, if they're not happy with the decisions, make sure their voice is heard too, because at the end of the day, every government official, every elected official, every government worker, whoever is in the government, whichever it's a board or a senator, we work for the people of KUAM. And it's only right that we be as transparent as possible in doing our job and getting our job done. So I think transparency is the most important thing, and that's for anyone in the government, including the board.
And certainly your sentiments are echoed by a lot of people out there calling for transparency with respect to the education board. Senator Rodriguez,
Sure.
Your thoughts on the education board?
You know, this fiasco that we're seeing now really is making me rethink how our structure is with the education board. You know, and how we've created this elected board really to take out the politics, to make them independent, to focus on the needs of our children. And it's a shame that we're not seeing that happen now, this past few days, this past few weeks. And so it really makes me, you know, ponder the thought of, do we need to rethink how the structure is, and perhaps address, you know, this thing where it's elected board now? Because really, the bottom line, the buck stops with the governor of Guam. You know, whether you agree with the governor or not, the buck stops there. And so I think to be able to effectively operate our education system, we really have to look and revisit, I think, the kind of setup we have today.
All right, thank you. Now, Senator Atta, you know, being the most senior policymaker on our panel tonight, have you ever seen anything like the headlines and the ongoing struggle that's been the education board over the last week or so?
Well, I don't know. This much I can say about what's been going on is that certainly, you know, the late at night termination and the secrecy certainly makes everybody uneasy, makes me uneasy too. But I've also learned over the years that if we're going to make judgment that what they did was wrong and all that, just based on the little information we've been able to get, oftentimes when we get access and we're privy to a lot of the details, we may find that, you know, that maybe it was the right decision. How it was carried out is what bothers me most.
And again, as an officer in the military, it's one thing to formulate a strategy. Execution is a completely different thing, and you have to have one and the other.
That's correct.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, and thank you, everybody, for your questions. But stay tuned. Our discussion with these esteemed candidates continues right after the break, right here on D16 tonight. Go to Facebook Live. Get your questions in, because we are back right after this.
This program is brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.
This is what we do on Guam's best network. We're the filter killers, the likers and sharers, the bingers and Netflix chillers, the tweeters and hashtaggers. GTA has improved their 4G LTE network, covering 95% of the island, delivering faster data speeds, strength and quality, and more reliability than ever. It's just what you need. So switch to GTA and step up to a better network, a strong network that lets you do what you do. GTA, better LTE than ever.
As our governor, Felix Camacho built 4 new schools without spending a single local dollar. He worked with the Interior Department and the SBA to leverage federal compact impact funds to build Ukuru High, Pastumbo Middle, League 1 Elementary, and Atacao Elementary, Guam's first new schools in nearly 20 years. 4 new schools and not a single local dollar spent. Imagine what he can do as your representative to Congress.
Paid for by the Committee to Elect Camacho for Congress 2016. Gregorio Calvo, Treasurer.
I'm Felix Camacho, and I approve this message.
Just watch it later, bro. Ask your mommy to do it for you since you still live at home.
Yeah. I don't even know how to do my own laundry.
Half a day.
I'm Ben Servino, and this is my friend Jude Ogo. He is enormously intelligent and quite talented. He just happens to be deaf. Unfortunately, individuals like Jude have been treated quite differently in our community. I'm running for senator to stand up for Guam's most vulnerable, our elderly, our youth, our people with disabilities, and our ailing veterans.
Ben is just like me. He does more, speaks less, and he hears me.
Vote Ben Servino for senator.
Pizza Hut makes the best pizza in the entire universe, but they won't tell you that. I've been marooned on this planet for a while now. You are an impressive race. Your children know excellent hiding places. Your oceans aren't filled with lava. And you figured out how to combine a grilled cheese sandwich with a Pizza Hut pizza. Surely interstellar travel will soon follow. And then I can finally get back home. Round. Round like home. The grilled cheese stuffed crust pizza. Proof that no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hafaday, I am Narissa Underwood. As a first-term senator, I work for first-generation initiatives to provide equal opportunity for all our people to have a head start on success. I introduced legislation to provide every high school graduate a trust fund to attend GCC or UOG, and legislation for marriage equality, for a voluntary registry for disabled individuals, and voter registration for 17-year-olds. Working with fellow senators, these efforts are now public law. I also sponsored legislation that failed, including legislation to roll back pay raises that would have allowed individual senators to legally reduce their salaries. In this effort, I stood alone. I will work with senators to pass good legislation, but I will also stand alone when necessary to speak up for the people. This is my pledge to you.
Courage and commitment. Paid for by the Committee to Elect NBU, Ricardo Badallo, Treasurer.
IT&E is giving away a trip to Manila, plus other fabulous prizes during our Stay In and Win prepaid promotion. All you have to do is stay in IT&E's 4G LTE network. Keep topping up load, and you're eligible to win. 10 winners will receive a $10 load every Friday during the promotion. Stay in for 3 months, and you could win a 3-month Hulu gift card. Stay in for 6 months, and you're entered to win the grand prize, a trip for 2 to Manila. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details or visit ite.net. IT&E Motion Prepaid. Life in motion.
Smiling is a natural response to joy, happiness, and excitement. Your smile reveals a lot about who you are. A healthy, beautiful smile can brighten your appearance and be an invitation to conversation and friendship. It is often one of the first things people notice about you. Now, thanks to the advancements in dentistry, you can have the smile you have always wanted, giving you an improved smile that looks and feels great.
My silver fillings that I have, they're getting older in my mouth and I need to replace them. So I've started to do that, and I've replaced them with the white fillings. And I've had really great success with that. It looks good, they feel natural, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the bleaching. I want a white look all around my mouth.
Tourism. It's our #1 industry. As Guam's largest employer, tourism supports 20,000 jobs. In fact, 1 out of every 3 jobs is tourism related. Annually, tourism generates over $150 million in tax revenue. Without it, every household would pay an additional $3,100 per year. From real estate to retail, tourism has a positive impact on every industry. Make Guam a better place to live, work, and visit. Support tourism.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Well, if you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million things to be, you know that there are. You can do what you want. The opportunities are. You can make it all true. And you can make it undo. You see. You only need to know. And if you want to be me, be me. And if you want to be you, be you. 'Cause there's a million things to do. You know that there are, you know that there are.
It's Chucktober at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. Get a treat bag when you wear your costume to come play. Medium cheese pizzas are just $12, mummy dogs are $3.99, and cotton candy is $1.99. Sign up for the costume contest on the 29th. Enjoy Chucktober at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam.
Senator Brant McCready continues to address issues head-on that matter most to the people of Guam. Senator McCready has fought to reduce senatorial salaries since his first term in 2013. He fought to eliminate wasteful spending at the legislature by introducing a measure that would prohibit the use of government funds for travel. Senator McCready continues to invest in public safety by introducing legislation to hire 200 new police officers to protect and serve our community. Senator McCready fights for victims of violent crimes by introducing the Vulnerable Victims Act of 2014 and Three Strikes Law. In addition, he defends victims of sexual abuse with the Predator Prevention Act and the Chemical Castration for Sex Offenders Act of 2015. Senator Brant McCready works to protect your family and Guam's future.
Vote for your public safety senator, number 10 on the Republican ballot.
Welcome back to D16 tonight, everybody. We are live and we are taking your questions. Facebook.com/KUAM News is the URL that you want to hit because we have some great topics right now. We go right into our questions with our esteemed senators tonight. And Senator McCready, we'll start with you. We'll go right to left on the panel. This one comes from Jennifer Rose Artero Rios, who says, why are conservation officers, Senator, so neglected?
First of all, I want to address the conservation officer issue. We introduced the bill, Bill 160, passed by the legislature. I think we had 15 co-sponsors. The entire legislature co-sponsored it. The governor signed it into law. And in that bill is to hire new conservation officers because they are neglected, and we can no longer do that. There's some federal hires that we always have to come back to the table, and Dennis Rodriguez has been very good at that, is making sure that their job doesn't just end when the federal funding ends, that we continue to make sure that these guys not only have a job to support their families, but they're also supporting our resources, which is the water, illegal fishing, illegal hunting. So it's imperative that we continue to focus. I mean, it's a small group of people, but we have to make sure that small group of people grows and they can be sustainable into protecting our natural resources. So
okay.
Absolutely.
Well, let's ask your senatorial colleagues. Senator Rodriguez, we were talking just moments ago about public safety and, with police officers and firefighters and marshals and all the fine work that they do. It seems like Jennifer might be asking, why are conservation officers maybe not treated as well as those other law enforcement professionals?
That's right. Several years ago, I had to introduce a bill to get our conservation officers who were federally funded at one point, to get them into funded through the local government, and also working to get them classified, because these positions, when we got the federal grant, we know a government told our federal counterparts that we need the services of conservation officers. They gave us the money, and we were supposed to classify and ensure these positions are established so that we can ensure that what they do in protection of our environment is there. However, our government failed them, and so that's why we had to move to classify them. And now, as Senator McCready has said, there's efforts to bring in more, because these guys, you may think that they're just conservation officers, but I've seen them in action when in a park, when there is people who are drinking who are not supposed to be drinking in that park. Fights happen. They're the first line of defense most of the time.
All right, Senator Ada, you know a thing or two about conservation officers and the very fine work that they do. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I think it's unfortunate. First of all, I think it's part of it is that it's out of sight, out of mind. Unlike the men in blue, you always see them there, and we want to see more at every corner. I think that the work that the conservation officers do is very important, but despite the fact that we don't have the actual bodies out there, we seem to be very short on that to go out there and actually do the enforcement of conservation laws. I think we can also do just as much work in trying to bring the awareness to the community as to what is the impact of burning grass out there so we can get the deer out. And I think by raising the level of awareness, hopefully then the work of the conservation officer can be alleviated.
Okay, well, here's a question that was sent to us earlier on our Facebook page. For each of you gentlemen, we'll start with you, Senator Atta. If re-elected, what will be your #1 priority once you're brought back into office?
Well,
your first job.
Yeah, right now I am the chairman for the Committee on Land. And one of the things I've always been focusing on is making affordable housing available, especially to our young families. But when you start with that, and that is the core of your focal point, then there's so many other things of which my committee has oversight of. To maintain the quality of life in that home, you've got to be able to provide them with reliable water and power. You've got to be able to, so GPA and GWA is under my oversight, and I work closely with them. You've got to provide them with access to and from that home. We've got to make sure that our ports of entry are able to effectively throughput the 90% commodities that we consume that come in through those ports. We got to make sure that they are maintained at an effective level. So everything is going to be focused around getting that affordable housing available for our middle-income families.
Okay, Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Jason. For me, one of the first things I'm going to pursue in the 34th Guam legislature, if I'm blessed to be reelected, is expanding health insurance access. There's thousands of our people who don't have access to health care. Some of these people are working individuals who work in business establishments who are probably offered insurance but have to pay a certain percentage. It's just unaffordable. In the next few weeks, I hope to be able to launch this initiative called Healthcare Para Todo. It's an initiative that will ensure that at least 15,000 of our individuals have access to healthcare. And if we're reelected, I'm hoping to use that as my guiding principle, as the roadmap to be able to get access to healthcare for our people.
And the roving healthcare resource, definitely a good start towards that. And Senator McCready, final word is yours. You've undertaken a lot of different projects. So if reelected, what's job 1 for Brent McCready?
Public safety. I think it's the most important part of our daily life as a senator, as a community. Public safety, a safer community allows people to get educated. A safer community allows tourists to come in and feel safe, spend their money, and come back. A safe community allows us to send our police officers out there with the proper resources they need to go home to their families safely. So I think we have to protect our community. We have to protect our most vulnerable, which is women and children. And then we have to protect the people that are protecting us, which is all the law enforcement officers, whether it's customs, the marshals, the GPD, or DOC, or the agriculture or conservation officers. We have to make sure that public safety is #1. And I continue to do that. I've been doing that for 4 years, and I'll continue to do that if I'm lucky enough to be elected.
All right, very well, gentlemen. Thank you. The people on Facebook reacting very positive to your answers. So good luck to all of you as you pursue another term. Now, a quick question we want to ask you guys. We'll go to our lightning round if we can. We'd like to ask each of you gentlemen, we'll start with Senator Brent McCready, to ask your colleagues a real quick question.
Wow.
And this one's fast. So you ask fast, you respond
I won't ask
fast.
them if they will vote for me because that question was already asked. How about, I've been working with them for 4 years, and I look up to Senator Atta because he's the senior. I work good with Dennis Rodriguez. They've both signed on to my bills, and I've signed on to some of theirs. What is what's the best bill you like that I have introduced?
And 15 seconds each, please, gentlemen.
There's been a lot, so.
I guess the one that sticks in my mind that you've introduced is chemical castration.
Thank you.
Well, certainly that did draw a lot of headlines, got a lot of people in the community talking, both pro and con. So Senator Rodriguez, what would be your probably most memorable, piece of legislation?
He's a great guy. Worked very well with him. I think one of the initiatives is to recognize our men in blue, our men and women in blue in the police department. He led an effort to move on promotions of the police department where these promotions haven't been happening. And I think it's very important for us to be able to recognize our hardworking individuals, especially in the Guam Police Department.
Okay, well, let's keep it rolling. So Senator Rodriguez, you can ask either of your colleagues on either side. Keep in mind you are striking range within each of them.
That's right, that's right.
Well, what question would you ask of Senator McCready and Senator Adams?
You know, I'm not going to be original, so I'm going to ask him the same thing.
I think the people of Guam need Dennis Rodriguez in office. I think Dennis Rodriguez is somebody that works hard. He's goal-oriented, and when the light's at the end of the tunnel, he doesn't build more tunnels. He gets to the end and finds new solutions. So I think he's he's an asset in the legislature, and it's a privilege to work alongside him. So
Thank you. I approve that message.
I think
nicely done.
I think Senator Rodriguez has done well as a chairman for the Committee on Health, and I certainly applaud him for that. But you must also recognize he has done well in terms of preparing the legislation that he introduces, talking about it on the floor and getting it through that gauntlet. And I think the fact that probably 99% of the bills that he's introduced have passed because he's done a good job and he's done his homework and has been able to persuade his colleagues.
And with that, we'll give the final question to you. We got about 30 seconds, please.
Yeah. Do you think we should change to a limited term legislature?
No.
Okay.
Yes. I actually have a bill on my desk for that.
Yeah. And I don't think we should have a limited term. I think the people should be the one to decide when your term is over or if you should continue.
Well, everybody, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much, and good luck in the general election that's coming up in November. And thank you guys for watching out on Facebook. We can see by the emoji that you guys have been sending us throughout the show, very, very strong opinions. You know, you can watch this over and over and over on Facebook Live. Just once again at facebook.com/KUAM News. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E Life in Motion.